So I'm going to start out talking. We're going to have a little conversation, and I'm going to showcase the theme for the first portion of this is beat music in terms of jazz and the beat scene in San Francisco and in Greenwich Village, the whole beatnik thing. Now, before my time, well, I was not before my time, during my baby time, San Francisco was a hotbed of the beat scene with Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and we'll get into that in a little bit. On the avenue, you may be having you a solid ball. Anyway, I'm going to start out with a poem. Is that okay? Will you indulge me here? This is by Lawrence Ferlinghetti, Poetry as Insurgent Art. Now, today's 2 hours isn't going to be as packed as last week's. If you saw last week's, I think I overbooked it, but it was first, and I'm learning about this stuff. I do have one in-person guest here, which we'll get to him in a little while. I have a couple of friends are going to come up. We're going to talk about music that influenced the whole beat generation, where it's jazz or whether it's whatever it is, and we're loose conversations, nothing scripted, nothing planned. I want to thank everyone who came by. I want to thank the supporters, both the members. That's been controversial to some people, even everyone just that who watches the channel and likes and subscribes and just enjoys it. Even if you don't subscribe and you don't like, I'm glad you watch, and apparently you are watching. So it's kind of fun. We're going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this every Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm hoping, and it won't be till March, I'm hoping to do a special earlier episode around noon my time on a Saturday for all the Brits with some of my British friends on the show. But unfortunately, that won't be till March. But then Europeans don't have to get out of their fucking bed at 2 a.m. To watch this stuff. Okay, so I will look at the chat. We'll take questions and just go back and forth a little bit. But I want to read this. As pretentious as beat poetry can be, let me tell you a little bit about Lawrence Ferlinghetti. I used to see him a lot because City Lights Books opened in 1953, the year I was born, on Columbus Avenue in San Francisco. It was the first in America paperback bookstore, and it became a hotbed for the Beat generation. They published books by, they published Howl by Allen Ginsberg. This is the copy I bought. This is the 27th printing of this book. I bought in 1974. There was a lawsuit, a legal situation that happened in San Francisco. Actually, there was also one with Lenny Bruce, but obviously with Allen Ginsberg. They thought this was obscene, and there was a court trial. Of course, it won because of freedom of speech. So these are totally applicable to where we are today. But I want to just read you a little bit about this. I have a little mini collection of Beat Generation stuff. We're going to talk about music, obviously. So let me read this, okay? I am signaling you through the flames. The North Pole is not where it used to be. Manifest destiny is no longer manifest. Civilization self-destructs. What are poets for in such an age? What is the use of poetry? The state of the world calls out for poetry to save it. A voice in the wilderness? If you would be a poet, create works capable of answering the challenge of the apocalyptic times, even if this means sounding apocalyptic. You are Whitman, you are Poe, you are Mark Twain, you are Emily Dickinson, Edna St. Vincent Millay, you are Neruda, you are Myrovsky, you are Pasolini. You are an American or not an American. You can conquer and conquer with words. If you would be a poet, write living newspapers, be a reporter from the outer space, filling dispatches to some supreme managing editor who believes in full disclosure and has a low tolerance for bullshit. If you would be a poet, experiment with all manner of poetics, erotic, broken grammars, ecstatic religions, heathen outpourings, speaking in tongues, bombastic public speech, automatic scribbling, surrealistic senses, stream of consciousness. I do that a lot, actually, on my videos. Found sounds, rants and raves to create your own limbic, your own underlying voice, your voice. If you call yourself a poet, don't just sit there. Poetry is not sedentary occupation, not a take your seat practice. Stand up and let them have it. I think that's pretty appropriate for today. But this little book by the late Lawrence Ferlinghetti, he lived to be 100 years old. He died a few years ago. I used to see him and actually sit next to him. There was a cafe 2 blocks up called Cafe Puccini on Columbus, and he'd always sit there, and people would sit and chat with him. And I did over the years, mainly in the 80s, well, mainly in the 1980s, because my buddies and I would go around the corner to Tosca's when it was kind of a semi-funky, beautiful bar before we went to the Fab Mab, the Mabuhay Gardens, to see punk shows in the late 70s into the early 80s. So a cool place to go. If you go to San Francisco, obviously, as I said, Howl. This is a cool anthology. This is a 60th anniversary edition. Probably came out about 10 years ago. So if you go to City Lights Books, get one of the, it's like a souvenir thing, right? The gift shop, but it's a great bookstore and wonderful bookstore. This is kind of an anthology, obviously. And then, of course, his greatest poems. But I tell you, this is a fun book to get. And I bought it after I moved out of San Francisco. The Cafe Trieste. I need to read what you're saying. Okay, Cafe Trieste. Go to City Lights. Right next door to City Lights is Vesuvio's. You need to go to that bar. It's, you know, what they call in the UK a pub, but it's a great bar, little balcony inside. There's the alley now. I think the alley is named after Jack Kerouac. Cross street is Tosca's. Tosca's has gotten upscale. They have restaurant and food, but it's actually pretty good. But go to the bar. It's the most beautiful bar in the city, I think. And right next to it is Specs Cafe, the Adler Cafe, another bar, actually Specs Bar, which is a great place. So this is a cool, pick this book up. And even as a native, I love this book, The Beat Generation in San Francisco, a literary tour. So I want to show you pictures, but you can't really see the pictures. But these kind of books are cool. And, you know, the beat scene in the mid 50s, obviously before my time as an adult, knowing it, I was way too young. I barely got grabbed onto sort of the Haight-Ashbury hippie movement, which is across town. But the scene in San Francisco of the beat scene was in North Beach. There were cafes, there were jazz clubs. There was the Purple Onion were in the 60s. Young comedians like Phyllis Diller, Woody Allen, and then, of course, even the early folk stuff, the pop folk things like the Kingston Trio were playing around that time. And they bought a building, which now is owned, unless I think he mortgaged it, but it's like a Flatiron building that Coppola bought, the green building on the end of Columbus on the way to the Transamerica Pyramid. So cool stuff. I love talking about it. And I'm going to talk about some music here. And at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have some people come up and talk about music. I do have a special guest. And I think right now we're going to talk about but it ain't no ball at all. We're going to talk about coffee. Because North Beach, San Francisco North Beach is where the first Italian espresso machines came, even before New York City. How is that possible? I don't know if that's, supposedly that's true. And I love, obviously, Grafeo. I always promote Grafeo, even though they don't sponsor me. I just love their dark roast. And all these hipster cafes you see will tell you that you don't want to get that dark, oily Italian roast. It's not cool. The Blue Bottles of the world, the fucking hipsters of the world. But I have a guest who knows this, and we're going to chat. Now, without further ado, the guest that you've all been asking for, a fan favorite. Can I explain crema to the chat? Okay. There we go. Okay, we will in a little bit. I think my expert can talk to us. So I hope I don't drink coffee, but love me some crema, some tea. We're not talking about tea or tea. I'm sorry. Tea is when you're sick or for Chinese food. I don't know why people drink tea otherwise. There's no use to it. It's basically water with a little like oregano in it or something or flavoring. Anyway, let's bring it on for Coffee Dave.
Hello.
Okay.
It's a big hand.
Yeah. Big hand.
Yeah, coffee times. Yeah. It's like
Wow, we have I didn't even know we could do that. I want to thank, he'll be up here later. The Waxed is moderating tonight. I'm not going to bring on right now, but when we get into the music of the beat scene, he's participating. So, Coffee Dave, tea is better than coffee. You must be from England. Get out of here. Okay. Can you delete that guy? I'm going to.
What crema?
You know,
no crema in tea.
When I have a stomach ache, when I'm sick, when I'm having Chinese food or Japanese food, I go to the Japanese tea gardens next to the De Young Museum in Golden Gate Park. I love tea, but coffee is the way to go. And going to North Beach and getting espresso and cappuccino and lattes was the best thing. Now, I want to do a little defense, sort of, and we'll talk the coffee to Starbucks, because Starbucks is obviously, they're fucking around right now, and they get everything they deserve, the good, bad, and the ugly. But I remember going to LA in the 70s and trying to get a cappuccino, and they would, like, even on Sunset Boulevard across from Tower, they'd give you a glass with a cinnamon stick and whipped cream. They didn't know how to make a fucking cappuccino. Starbucks at least standardized it around the world, and now we have these independent cafes that do it right. And not all of Starbucks beans are alike. There's a reserve, a better blend. And Dave, the reason he's Coffee Dave, he worked for Starbucks for how many years?
29.
29 years. He's like employee number 6, right? No.
Well, it was number 55 before I left, which was back in 2019. Still an ancient history, but yeah, they were. I started when they weren't public, which was in July of '89, and it was at a retail store, the third store in the company, which is in beautiful Bellevue, Washington, across from Bellevue Square. Great store, actually, a brown store when it opened, like all the stores back then. But they were starting to, to abbreviate it, they went public in June of '92. And as Mazzy was saying, they are they kind of revolutionized the consistency and branding in coffee, brought it to places like LA that never had it. Of all places, right? I mean, LA would be the kind of city where you think they would come up with something like that first.
You could go on the road now. I mean, obviously now you can, but just think, you could never go to an airport and get, I'm a snooty coffee person, but I just like good coffee. And now at least you can go to places, and luckily, or for the better, independent stores have opened up, cafes have opened up with great beans, great roasteries. I mean, it's equivalent to people who are into microbreweries and beer and that whole thing. Growing up, you could get a Bud, a Schlitz, whatever, a Rainier. But all the microbreweries in San Francisco actually is one of the first with Anchor. But we'll talk about beer another time. So more about talk about the roast, crema, the various beans, what you learned, and all that stuff.
Well, a lot of people obviously very opinionated about coffee and the roasts in particular, and of course just the Robusta versus Arabica, Folgers, Maxwell House, what Americans consider to be cinnamon roasted cheap coffee. Nothing wrong with that per se, really. I mean, there's a lot of snootiness with cheap coffee, but I mean, a lot of people still buy Folgers. A lot of people still like a Robusta coffee.
What's Robusta coffee?
So it's basically,
that sounds like something that Melania would wear in a Busta.
The Robusta coffee.
Did she wear a Busta in the new documentary?
She may have had some in her popcorn buckets. I don't know. There may have been some. Right? I mean, it's just like, was it really? I mean, yeah. I mean, Robusta is lower elevation grown coffees. Of course, they say in the ads it's all mountain grown. Well, all coffee's mountain grown. The thing is that Robusta is lower elevation and much less expensive. It's a cheaper bean, but it's also what they mass produce in countries like Brazil, where the majority of the crop is a Robusta crop. It also has a lot more caffeine in it than Arabica, which is the higher elevation, more refined coffee beans and varietals that we're all accustomed to, that Starbucks and everybody else uses. And as far as just, roast profile too is another thing. Obviously, Starbucks was really big on the dark roast part of it, which is a lot of people say their coffee is burnt. And you could say that.
Is it burnt?
It's not burnt. No, I mean, I would say that the problem is that with darker roasted coffee, it's harder to dial in just the right. It's a little bit less forgiving if you do it proper, because taking it too far, it kind of takes away any sourness or anything like that in the in the cup. And you get more sugars coming out of the beans. But if you overdo it, you can get almost kind of rubbery, kind of fusel, oily, kind of like undesirable flavors that
we don't want undesirable flavors. Stop right there for 1 second. I'm going to pull one album. We had a request for a pairing. Okay. So I'm going to pull a record. You tell me what coffee blend, if you can say that, would go with this record. It's like a wacka bean.
Is it Arabica or is it Robusta?
It's a wacka bean. I'm pulling a random record. I'm not looking. Oh, okay. Tom's album, Tom's Diner. This is the comp, originally on CD. This was Susanna Vega when she did that song Tom's Diner, which did okay until a rapper pulled it and sampled her. A&M Records sued, won a lawsuit, but they decided people love that. Let's put it out and let's split the royalties on it. So what's great about this comp is the entire comp is that song Tom's Diner done with different versions. There's one Tom's Diner with the lyrics of is it I Dream a Genie? I Dream a Genie or something, one of those. So what coffee blend would you blend with this album?
Me?
Yeah, you're the only one in the room. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see. I would probably be inclined, given the first thing that would come to my mind would be to go for something that comes in a white ceramic cup. That's
because Tom's Diner.
Tom's Diner, absolutely. Okay. And so it would be more of a Robusta blend, not an Arabica blend. Sort of like, think of Denny's in that regard, for the bottomless cup that you would get, where it wouldn't be necessarily, it's cheap coffee. It may not be a cinnamon roast per se, maybe a little bit darker, but it's still a cheap blend. And so the good news is that it's diner. There's a lot of wiggle room for, quality. It can be kind of edgy. You want that. Ultimately, you want more of a, rocket fuel kind of brew, like a lighter roast.
Now, is there a drip coffee that you like? I mean, you're okay with a drip. Like if you went to a diner, not everyone's going to have like a great certain, grind type thing. So tell me about your diner choice coffee. I know you never know. You're going to get what you're going to get, and you don't have a choice, decaf or not decaf.
Usually, if you're going to some proprietary roast that a place like a chain has that you drink, and they might tout it as being something that's premium or whatever, I wouldn't probably put it in that category any more than I put in a category of something that's brewed on a large industrial scale, or big batches of it being done in like diner brewers, like big bun glass brewers that sit there for hours and give the coffee even more of sort of a burnt roasty patina to it. So I don't know, when I'm thinking of like what I would like to drink when I go in, that's a good question. What brand would I drink? See, here's the thing, like now, in the past, it would be you'd go in and you'd probably get Folgers or something like that, right? I mean, they just served that. That's just what they had. Now with the coffee revolution, you'd have maybe, Starbucks serving it, some restaurant, or if you're maybe, or even better, if you're down, local proprietor, a smaller roaster who has a restaurant that they have as accounts, and they'd be serving that there. Thank you, Starbucks. Actually, they're the ones that kind of made that happen. Pete's too, to a greater extent, right?
Pete's out of Berkeley,
right?
And unfortunately, Pete's is closing some. Now, Pete's came from Berkeley. If I go into a store and I need to get just some beans out of a grocery store, I'll pick beans, French or Italian roast, whole beans every time. Also, a big thing is if you can buy a little grinder, grind your beans; it'll taste better. Now, what Coffee Dave? This is how we met. This is sort of a romance story, a little bit. This is how we met. There's a movie theater called the Cinerama in Seattle. Great. It's equivalent to the Cinerama in Los Angeles and Hollywood without the domes. And it's a great single screen. Paul Allen bought it from the Microsoft. and fixed it up, and it was great sound. My favorite single screen theater. Sunday. Oh, I don't know what movie it was. I don't remember, but on the next block there was this little hotel which had a little Italian restaurant with a bar on it. It was a Sunday afternoon, wasn't crowded. I went to have a glass of wine and a bowl of pasta. How Italian is that? And this guy was working on the espresso machine there.
Just some general maintenance, nothing nothing too fancy. Just casually in the afternoon. The place was empty,
And I saw a Starbucks truck right out the window there. So that was your truck, right?
That was my truck.
That was your truck. Yeah. And so at some point we started talking about coffee, because I'm a little snooty coffee thing. And it was love at first sight. We talked about coffee, and that was it. We connected, and that was it. And then literally about 6-7 months later, I'm in Georgetown, part of Seattle, at Fond du Lac Katrina. Now, another coffee connection. That's where I met a server that worked there, and that was Coffee Julie. That's another episode, how she became Coffee Julie, but she worked there. So all my friends I met sort of through coffee and the food industry. Even the archivist I met through the food industry. She's not here tonight. So I'm at the bar counter having Mexican food at Fond du Lac Katrina, and it was packed. And, I was at the counter eating, and I'm talking to the bartender. I can't remember which bartender it was. And we were talking, and somehow music came up. Of course, it always comes up, records, music. And the guy next to me started talking about records and music. And I look over, and it's him. And I said, wait a second, I met you about a half a year ago. You're the guy. And then we traded numbers. We didn't meet online. We didn't meet at J-Date or Coffee Date. I handed him a business card, and we started playing music together. Well, that's oh, come on, records together, and that was it. So there we go.
Yeah, and then how many now? So what? Now we're going on 12 years later or so.
12 years. Yeah. In 2 weeks, I'll be 12 years in Seattle.
Which, of course, everybody asks, yes. Where does the time go?
Hello, Coffee Day. So, okay, that's the little coffee segment, because we're going to have guests in a couple of minutes, a couple of guests. But I'm going to showcase, since I started with this whole beat poetry thing, I was listening to this the other day. This is a box set, a CD box set that came out called Howls, Raps, and Roars. Fantasy Records put this CD box set out, 4 CDs. It's got, okay, here's the box set. Remember these kind of long boxes? Okay. It's got 1 CD of Lenny Bruce, 1 of Allen Ginsberg, 1 of Kenneth Roxon with Florence Ferlinghetti, Gregory Corso, Peter Orlovsky, John Wieners, Philip Lawman, Lou Welch, Allen Ginsberg, Michael McClure, who would play in San Francisco. Now, a lot of these beat poets, actually, Michael McClure and some of the others, spoke in between the musical acts at the last waltz. So if you watch the last waltz, you'll see tiny bits of these beat poets, actual beat poets, read poetry between that. Michael McClure, definitely. Now, Fantasy Records out of Berkeley, of course, later became the house, when they rebuilt that massive building in Berkeley, the house that Creedence built. But back in the 50s, the head of Fantasy, a fledgling label, went around and recorded live shows of the beat poets, Allen Ginsberg reading Howl, Michael McClure, all these things. And they're rough recordings on here. This is not a sonic. Chad Kassem's not going to do a double 45 of this box set. That's one thing I'll say. But it's kind of cool, and it's like it's an archival field recording thing. And I eat that stuff up, and I love it. And obviously, in the folk scene that came out of Greenwich Village, and the jazz scene. And so I just love that. During the CD era, Rhino had a short-lived sub-label called World Beat. And this is one of the CD sets they did, Beat Generation. Now, this is a fun listen, and it's a mix. It's got the real cool poetry and jazz stuff, and it's got the kitschy stuff. I mean, you have Kooky from 77 Sunset Strip, Ed Burns on here, which is kind of like the Hollywood thing. Okay, I have a question, a trivia question. there's no winner today, but who was the first beatnik character on American television in a sitcom? I bet you I have old people watching this. They'll know about this. The first beatnik character in an American sitcom. Isn't there like, there we go. Maynard G. Krebs. You got it, Bill. Dobie Gillis. He became Gilligan, right? And okay, since we're going in a direction, what famous heartthrob movie star was one of the semi-regulars on the Dobie Gillis show? Thank you, Res, per minute. What famous heartthrob actor became a great actor-director was one of the...
Marlon Brando?
No, not Marlon Brando. Well, Bob Denver was Gilligan, but what famous heartthrob movie... He was an actor first and then a director. Male. Not Anne Margaret. No, I don't know if she was in that. Not Carl Malden. San Francisco. Not Robert Redford. And that's not me. Okay, that's not me.
Don't leave home without it.
Warren Beatty. Yeah, it's Warren Beatty. You got it. Thank you. You don't win anything, but you got the right answer. But I think someone mentioned this box set. I have the CD and the vinyl. Jack Kerouac. This is a Rhino set. Now this is fucking cool. In fact, the one record that everyone should get, I think they reissued it for Record Store Day, is Jack Kerouac. I'm sorry, your head's in the way. Jack Kerouac poetry with Steve Allen. Steve Allen was a great piano player, great jazz piano player. So Steve Allen playing the piano. This is a box set. It has Jack Kerouac there. These were things that were, a couple of these were on Fantasy Records.
When did they release that? Do you know when that came out?
This particular box set, this is like 92 or 80.
This is 90s.
Yeah, 90s. This is the CD era. The box set's rare. Obviously, you can get, the CD, the vinyl set is rare. But look at that. In fact, Jack Kerouac, for you Grateful Dead fans, is one of the occupants for a while, way before the Grateful Dead wrote about it, sang about the Mars Hotel on 4th Street in South of Market, south of the Slot, as they used to call it. And if you listen to the poetry of Kerouac, obviously San Francisco was a part of it, but he was like nothing close to a hippie. But another one is one of my favorites that I got into because of FM radio at night, having my clock radio on 1967. Late at night, they do these audio montages, and they would play Ken Nordean's word jazz. And I'm a big fan of this stuff. It's avant beat poetry with these kind of tweaky jazz interludes. Blue Note in the 70s put this comp out of Ken Nordine. What time is it? This is cool. If you see these, Fluffy uses that, right? This is cool. And this was on Philips. It's colors. Now talk about, there's people that hate shills, that people like heads blow up. And I've had experience in the last 24 hours of some commenters yelling out shill, and I don't want to be behind a paywall and all that crap. So Ken Nordine was commissioned by Benjamin Moore. I think it was Benjamin Moore, one of the paint companies. And he did a series of these beat poet word jazz things of all these 24 brilliant colors. Now, this is a version with not all the colors, but it's kind of like okra. And he does this whole beat thing with music.
Was he heir to the paint fortune, much the way Burroughs was heir to the Burroughs family fortune?
I have no idea, but look at this. Beige, green, yellow, burgundy, lavender. This is a promo copy, stamped promo copy. But this is a cool ass record. These came out on CDs after a while, but I tell you, the Ken Nordine records are just fun. And during the whole psychedelic FM radio, KMPX, KSAN used to have these late night shows. So they would weave, The End by the Doors or the Beatles, something from Magic Mystery Tour, I'm the Walrus, with some jazz compositions, and they'd mix in a lot of Ken Nordine things. Those of you in America know, in the 70s, he was the voice of Levi Strauss. There's a new man in town. I can't do it, but you know Ken Nordine's voice. In fact, he did a series of CDs. He did a CD with David Grisman and Jerry Garcia, where he did the voice, and they backed it. It's fucking great. I don't know if that's on vinyl. Someone tell me if that's on vinyl. I'd love to get it.
People read more back then.
And of course, there's things like this. So I think now we're going to get into the jazz side of this, because what I was playing at the beginning here, which you hardly heard, I know a lot of people fucking hate jazz vocals. However, 1959 to 1962, Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross signed to Columbia. I think most of these records produced by Teo Maceo, who produced Miles Davis. Jazz vocalists, Lambert, Annie Ross, John Hendricks, who would do a blues review for years above the Mabuhay Garden in San Francisco in the 80s, and it was very popular. This is a great record. Those of you who know the song Twisted, Joni Mitchell's song Twisted, you know, my analyst told me, going right on my head. This is the original version. This is the song Twisted. John Hendricks also wrote lyrics for the Bobby Timmons song Moanin'. Of course, that was a jazz standard. So, in fact, Birdland, Birdland by Weather Report, there's a vocal version. I mean, in a way, I know people are going to be snooty about it, but Manhattan Transfer were sort of a modern day late 70s version of Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. They did a vocal version of that song Birdland, which is pretty cool, actually. So
did Chuck Mangione ever do a version of Birdland?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a Chuck Mangione hat either. So, all right. Is Coffee Dave a Jon Stewart doppelganger? So that's a question. Okay.
I've been told I am, but it's been a while. I think he's aged better than that.
Okay, let's just talk about jazz in this. So I'm going to bring up the Waxed. There's a couple other people who are going to come up eventually when they show up, and we'll just show some things. I'll bring the Wax up now.
And by the way, I do love Jon Stewart, by the way.
Because the Wax is an honorary jazz bum. But I want to start out with a record. I've been playing these records for the last 24, 48 hours. And I have a 70s pressing, nothing fancy, the 360 label. This fucking record is so great. And this 70s pressing is really fucking good. All right.
The wonderful Melinda Murphy sent me the Mobile Fidelity one step of that. And I have to say,
isn't that 45 though?
Yeah, it's 45, but it sounds
Send it back. Send it back to Melinda. Fuck that shit. 45 should be illegal.
Hold on 1 second. Thank you.
Okay, we gotta announce this. Stratorus.
It's like $5,500 American.
Okay. Is this person now? Let me ask you this: did you work with Strata East, or do you have a strap-on company? But I want to just thank you seriously.
Oh, jeez, dude. We can send you back your money if you want.
People who know me know there's got to be like a sense of humor. No,
it's all right.
Thank you for assuring me that there's sanity and empathy out there somewhere. We're having a good time. At least I am. So
with the what's interesting about that is so many different pressings of that album. I have a Philips pressing, a Dutch Philips pressing that sounds amazing, and then they reissued it on CD. Sorry about all the CD haters out there.
We don't hate CDs.
Japanese.
We don't hate CDs.
Dave, do you subscribe to this theory I have?
Incredible.
If a record's well recorded, then it's unless it's a bad pressing, they sound good.
Yeah, no, it's just.
I played this today, and I literally turned it up to 52. Now 52 on my stereo is very loud. I don't know if you know.
Now, when you played it, Mazzy, did you go,
Yeah. But you know, I know there's different versions of it. I know there's probably the what's that company? Anyway, there's so many versions. I just think after this, I don't have to seek out another version. And this is a great album.
Well, you know, if you see OGs of it, I actually saw
6i.
6i, yeah.
a 6i promo with the white label.
6i clean, yeah. But I'm not going to.
Those are expensive.
I know I'm not going to pay money for it. But my point is, the music here emulates the stuff that I'm trying to get to. That's in this beat movement. Obviously, going back to the coffee houses in Greenwich Village and in North Beach, jazz was an integral part of the whole beat scene and the jazz scene. Even more than folk originally. Obviously, the folk thing started in late 50s into the 60s, obviously, and in San Francisco and those places. But this is a great record. Of course, the modern art of it, the mid-century thing of it. I tell you, everyone should get this record. There's some big sounds to it.
You provide an affiliate link, Mazzy, so you can make money off of praising this record.
I don't have any affiliate links.
Well, it's a starter, right, for the Mingus crowd. If you were to start off, say, with like, Better Get Hit, Better Get in Your Soul, the late 70s one. That's when I first heard Mingus, where it's Larry Coryell, and it just came out in 77, which for me was like, as a kid, when I first heard it, well, I was maybe 18 or 19 as a kid, but that's what I thought that was great, not realizing that Mingus had this back catalog. So it just shows you how naive I was as a kid. But that's really, like, for starters, that I don't know how anybody could not like that album.
Well, this is my copy that I probably brought it home from the record factory I worked at in 1974, 75. So that's how early. So I'm 20 years old when I get this record.
And it came out in what, 59?
59, yeah, 59. This was the first Columbia record that Mingus did. It's a big sound. It's got some crazy stuff, but it's very accessible.
Well, my kind of sense when I started listening to Mingus is he was emulating Ellington, but making it avant-garde,
more modern. And this is one. This is one that's controversial to some people, and I think this is one that Rob hates one side of it, but I fucking love.
What are you talking about? Oh, I don't hate it. First of all, the ones on what Mazzy's saying is on one side.
Gene Shepard from A Christmas Story, who wrote it and narrated the movie, does narration, which I love Gene Shepard, but I don't. It seems weird on the record. That's the great thing about it. It's like beat poetry, and it's this weird story, and it's a spoken word story of a fucking clown. It's great. Now,
hey, the part where he goes, the clown said, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid."
No. Okay, I'm going to bring up two guests now. We're going to continue talking about jazz and beat poetry. We got now. Okay. I'm sorry, Chris. Chris, first of all, you're muted for one thing, which you haven't said a word, doesn't really matter. But you can't be vertical in my world.
Wow. I'm in Mazzy's world now?
You're in Mazzy's world now. Now, Chris.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Let's try it like this.
That's perfect.
Huh? All right.
Okay. That's my world. You're in it. You're living in it. Just chill. Now, a couple things. This is okay, except for the Waxed and Coffee Dave, three of us worked for Record Factory, the same small record chain in Northern California.
No, I didn't work for Record Factory.
Yeah, that was the greatest month of my life when I worked for you.
It was only a couple months, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like, I don't know what it was.
Chris, it was like 3 months. Chris was my 5 months. Okay. Chris was my assistant manager back in 1978, 78, whatever. 1977.
Yep.
And we had a good time. I went to his wedding. That's another story, which we've already, I think, shared here. Joey Callio worked at the one down in San Jose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever visited the one in San Jose.
Oh, I had to do inventory.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on one second. I can't believe Mazzy hasn't said anything. Joey, tilt your camera up. Half your head's cut off. Mazzy, tilt your camera up. The whole stream, top of your head's been cut off.
By the way,
Stand up
I'm
straight.
for the first time in a few years, I'm wearing one of my pork pie hats. I felt I had to do it in honor of Lester Young. Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. You know that song. In fact, is that on this record? That's on. I think that's on this record.
It's on Wired.
Yeah, it is. It's on a hum.
Yeah, that's a dedication to Lester Young.
So which version would you take? Would you take the one off of Wired, or would you take the original one?
Oh, come on, Wired.
Sorry, that's
Now-
a bad joke, you guys.
No, it's not a joke. It's you could. I think it's great that someone like Jeff Beck introduces his audience to jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Now we're going to talk about this jazz, but before we do that, Joey's going to do another wine minute. He did it last week because he is the Italian wine guru. So there's a little bit of pretentious angle to this live stream every Saturday. And while we have Joey, we're going to be able to do a pretentious wine minute. So it's up to you, Joe.
Okay. Hold on. I'm doing my pretentious cork sniffing.
Excellent. Hold on.
God,
Timing.
it figures you're a bass player.
Okay. So, anyways, but thank you, Mazzy, for that introduction. But I will say, I'm not just an Italian wine person. I'm an Italian who loves all wine. But this does happen to be an Italian wine. That's because we got yelled at last week for not.
You showed a French wine last week, I think, right?
Yeah. So, but this one, where's my thing? There it is. This one is not an expensive wine.
No.
I think
Okay. We got people across the world here. So one of you pretentious bass players in a rock group, what's not a expensive wine?
This is
Under
like,
$10, right?
this was like $25, I think.
Yeah,
at
sounds
Costco.
right.
So it's not $2 Chuck. Okay.
No, $2. Don't get me started on $2 Chuck or do. That's the biggest scam of all time. But in the wine biz. But anyways, it's Ruffino. I'm sorry, I'm having real trouble. I'm on my phone here, by the way.
$4 Chuck now.
Yeah,
Of inflation.
fuck all that Chuck bullshit. That was a total scam. What they
Did you
did,
know that
they-
Chuck and fuck rhyme?
Fuck all that Chuck. So that was a scam. They pulled in, the first batch was a bunch of stuff that people were unloading, but it was good. And he flooded the market with good, cheap wine that he bought. There was basically leftovers, but then he went back and just started putting anything in those. But at that point, the word got out. Wow, this $2 Chuck is fantastic. Well, it kind of was good at first.
Great marketing.
Yeah, it was exactly, but it was a scam.
What album pairs with that bottle? We have a
It's
Gabby
Italian, so
Well,
PFM or somebody like that. I don't know.
PFM. I used to love PFM.
I know,
Here's
right?
my-
Is
Here's
that
my new Ken Nordine? Is that his name, Mazzy?
yes?
Yes. Yeah. This is my
I
new
showed
Ken.
that record. I love that record. Did you listen to it yet?
I did. I listened to it before I came up here.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I wasn't in on the email where we were told to show that record.
No,
It's
I
what
was
it's
in a
exactly.
store and they had a clean copy, and I bought it to give to Joey because it's one of those records. I mean, it's not a record you put on all the time to listen to because it's a spoken word, but it's got these great jazzy avant. It's really out there. It's a cerebral, kind of cool ass fucking record. I just think
I love that you brought the Levi voice in on it too, because that's like it's even better when you know it's that
there's
guy.
a new man in town. Remember all those 70s? He was the voice of Levi's.
Yeah.
The other guy I always like referred to as Paul Frees. Paul Frees was voice, all the Disneyland voice. You go onto the Haunted Mansion. He's
I thought I was the Disneyland voice.
Yeah.
What's the voice of all the those propaganda films where they're showing like the atomic bomb going off and you have it's something like and at 0800 hours the bomb is now going off. There it is.
The amazing,
Beautiful, beautiful sunshine, ball of flame behind it, like that kind of thing. You know, it's
the
like
amazing Colossal Man. Remember that movie?
Mazzy, when there's a lull in the show, can you teach Coffee Dave how to use Chat GPT like you?
You mean to get my facts straight?
Okay, let's get back to music. I'm going to bring us back to music.
Yeah.
Chris, did you bring any albums to relate?
Yeah,
to
I brought
this?
up a couple, and you know, you threw me because I asked originally, you know, is it something I just recently bought, or is it something that
Doesn't
just
matter.
recently came out? And you said either, and then you said you're doing like
You're going to tell
North
everybody
Beach,
what I said.
folky sort of stuff, and so I figured I would combine here. Let me pull it out of the plastic. I'm assuming you can figure out the. Why is that backwards?
It's backwards for you, but we see it the right way.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, I figured
We
you
see
could.
it correctly.
Yeah. So
Lee Morgan.
I just
Okay.
got this a couple days ago. It's been out for what, 70 years? I don't know, something like that.
You know, it's
65
coming out
years.
as a town poem.
I just got it, and one
Is
of
that a
Lee
tune
Morgan's
poet?
early recordings. He was 19 at the time. Everybody on the record was under 20, and of course,
Hey, you know,
right
we're-
here,
we're-
City
we're-
Lights.
We're
What
seeing
could
the
be more
reflection,
San Francisco beat than City
Chris?
Lights?
Chris. We're seeing a reflection
No?
with your bank statements. And keep
I've
going.
got some technical errors going on here. Sorry about that.
You're doing just fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was, you know, then, I mean, I'm trying to think what else I've got in the way of, you know, the only protest record I've got is right here, Phil Oakes from 1967. Small Circle of Friends was a semi-hit that came off of that.
1968.
68?
Yes.
Okay. It's recorded in 67. That was that.
Yes, that's
Well,
true.
Doesn't your friend know how annoying you are with facts, Mazzy?
Lincoln, Mallorca. That's his. Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
then
a-
because,
All
you know,
about apathy.
I think of the San Francisco beat poets and all those guys as kind of the punk rockers of their time. And I know, Mazzy, you featured this the other day, but I'm going to hold this one up too. A little bit of nepotism. This is a soundtrack to a movie, a documentary that came out a year and a half ago about a guy named Gary Young, who was a hippie in Stockton, a drummer. He had a recording studio. And my brother, through a couple different bands, played with him. They're featured on the first side of this album.
What
My
band?
brother
Was
also was one of the producers of the.
What band was it?
He was in two. He was a band called The Authorities, and he was in a band called Fall of Christianity.
Whoa.
Anyway, so this just came. I just got this. I haven't even listened to it yet. I just got it. Again, got delivered yesterday. So, but I've heard his stuff. His
I
band
just
a lot of
watched
times,
that
but I don't-
documentary the other night. I just watched it. It's so great. Everyone should watch it. Part of it is presented with marionettes, and he was a hippie drummer, like 15 years or 18 years
Yep.
older than the rest of them
Yep.
in the band Pavement. And he kind of like he was like wild card. He died in 2023,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right after the documentary was finished.
Yeah, it was very sad. He was in a wheelchair the last little bit of his life. He lived a hard life.
It's a
He
cool
drank too much
story.
Italian wine, I think was what happened.
Is that Italian? Too much Italian wine?
Too much Italian wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Not possible.
Too much $2 Chuck. That guy.
Talking.
Did you bring some records, Joey?
Well, I you know what else I got the other day that I kind of like, and it's in this. It's sort of beat-ish. Is this Moon? I
I didn't
didn't.
know which version of that record did you.
It's not the.
Is that a wax time, Joey?
No, it's worse. It's
Scorpio?
worse. 4 Men.
Oh God.
I
Can
know.
Someone is there someone in the house to slap you in the face?
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on
I
a second.
know. On that level, it's my most embarrassing record I have.
Okay, bye. Okay, we'll see you later.
They're
Okay.
not that. Hold on. They're digital records, but they're not that horrible.
Yeah, I listened to it. It sounds like
They're fine.
hell. It's not great, but
You
whatever.
should know. Here's the thing: people price those high, you shouldn't overpay for one of those records.
Well, that one was cheap.
Yeah.
It was there, and I just kind of.
This channel does not condone the use and the purchase of gray market records. We only
Those are not gray market, Mazzy.
They're just shitty.
They're just shitty.
Just shitty. Hey, can I say something about jazz vocals though? A little bit.
Some people hate them, but I love them.
Well, I'm very case by case, but I mean, female
That's true. Yeah,
is the shit. Sorry about.
Of course, Billy. She's almost more bluesy than jazz.
Yeah, well, here's the deal, Joey. It's jazz vocals that are on an album. Like, she leads those records, so she's a singer.
Right.
She's a vocalist.
Right.
But it might be about, let's say, an Art Blakey record, and then there's a song with a singer.
I think
you categorize them two different ways.
Yeah, those are harder. I like I said, case by case. I love stuff like this.
What is that?
Peggy Connolly, Japanese version of this Peggy Connolly record.
I don't know Peggy Connolly's.
What?
I don't know.
Listen, man.
I don't know her either. Now,
That's
I just want to say, I want to apologize.
Oh, God, we're doing this now?
I want to apologize to the Jazz Bums because they were out protesting the world yesterday. So they closed down because they didn't have a show on Friday. The whole country closed down because of the bullshit that's happening in Minneapolis. So we're kind of dipping our toe in the first hour into jazz here, but we are not the Jazz Bums. We don't pretend to be the Jazz Bums. We're not as smart or as detailed and as knowledgeable as the Jazz Bums. So I just wanted to say that officially. Thank you.
And actually, the Jazz Bums have hair, Mazzy. You don't.
Not all of them. Do they all have hair?
Yes, they all have nice coifs of hair, especially Chris.
I just washed my hair, so it looks a little fucked up. This is Chris Connor. She's also very cool.
Yeah, I know Chris.
Sinatra-y, you know.
But again, those are vocalists. I wouldn't categorize them as jazz vocalists. They're vocalists.
Okay.
I put them in the jazz department.
I
hear what you're saying.
Lambert,
like
Hendricks, and Ross.
Jazz.
Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross.
Now I'll tell you something that
vocalese stuff started in the 20s. There was vocal artists, Boswell sisters, pop singers, Andrews.
What was King
sisters.
Pleasure? Do you know King Pleasure?
Yeah, that happened to me last night. But the Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, Sing Ellington. They had 3 records on Columbia. In fact,
what? Can I help you out there, Mazzy?
Hold on.
Ross, Annie Ross.
Yeah,
people my age would know her because I think she moved into being an actress.
Yes.
And if you ever saw the film Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater,
yes,
she was the principal of the school.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
But this is incredible record. This isn't the best one. The first one is introducing the top vocal jazz group, 1959. That is the one, and it's great fucking stuff. But it fits in, which I was trying to kind of emulate this whole beat thing. It's got the cliche of the beat sound, you know. Yeah, Sarah Vaughan.
Where would you guys? Oh, okay. I love Sarah Vaughan. That's another good one. What about where would you put Nina Simone?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
I mean, as far as is she jazz or is she?
Well,
she's her own thing.
She did blues records. She did gospel records.
Blues, soul,
pop.
I tell you, you know, the thing that got me into her is I don't have it here. It's in the other room. Is the 1971 or 2 album on RCA? Here Comes the Sun. She does Dylan and George Harrison, and it sounds sketchy. It's got the sun illustration of the sun on the cover. It's such a fucking great record. Of course, you know, Mississippi Goddamn and the stuff she did. Young
the one that my friend Brad reissued that he sent us both copies.
Yeah.
That's her last recording.
That's her last album. Young, Gifted, and Black, of course. I mean, she was one of those bluesy jazz artists. First of all, classically trained piano player. She schooled her audience, her fucking mostly 80%, 90% white audiences about the civil rights movement and stuff. She, you know, you should watch a documentary on her because bipolar, no one knew what bipolar was at the time in her life, but it's a great thing. Get me out of here, Rob.
What do you guys think?
Are you finished, Joey? Are you finished showing records?
What do you guys think of Chet Baker? as far as being a vocalist.
Chet
and
Baker.
a player.
Chet Baker sings would be a good
Yeah,
one in this.
see?
Yeah.
I'll show. I have one other thing to show, but it doesn't have to happen right this second.
No, you're on. It's your turn.
Oh, okay.
We don't take turns here. Like this ain't the Westman show.
Oh, hold on one second, Mazzy. Keep everyone on screen and make them big like this. Don't take.
Yeah,
them.
you do. You do it.
We need to have reactions to when they show the record.
Okay.
Okay. So this is sort of a tale. I have two different parts of this story.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do we say
That's
part
this.
1 now?
Those are so good. Those sessions. Oh,
Plug.
So that's
Plug
the
nickel.
Miles Davis Plug Nickel reissue that just came out from Sony.
10 record. It has 10 records in it. It has this very cool booklet.
Yeah.
It's got, I mean, it's really well done. It is. It's great. It's sexy. The whole package is very.
They did a good job for the price.
I think so, except for one problem.
Mm-hmm.
They have a nude picture of Miles in that booklet.
Yes, and I wasn't prepared at all. No, but I do love, I've cleaned it all. I spent all night with the Humming Guru last night. Cleaned it all. It's a fat stack. It's really cool. But while I was cleaning, I noticed one was kind of going like that.
Oh, the hole's not centered?
No, it was severely fucking warped. I mean, it's like this warped.
Who did you buy it from?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Tell them to send you a new box.
So now I'm doing it I'm going rogue. I just ordered another box, and then I'm going to Frankenstein together because
you could have them send you one anyway, and then
you could have done that because
you have 30 days to return it.
Amazon gives you like a month or two to return it.
Exactly. So my point is, instead of saying, "Hey, I've got this warped record, can you guys help me out?" Fuck it, I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just ordering another one, putting together the best of all of them.
Yeah, you rich people are shaming us. You rich people are shaming us. But I can say this because mine's in transit.
Yeah.
But several people have reached out to me with their reviews of it.
Uh-huh.
And other than, I would expect, because they made it cheap.
Right.
Other than production issues, most people are saying they're very happy with it.
I heard that the CD outer box is very cheapish, which is really unfortunate. After those great, spine, the metal spine stuff,
really good too.
Well, mine just arrived. I haven't even opened it up yet, so I think I
It-
will. Based on
vinyl or
Joey's
CD,
experience.
vinyl or CD.
Coffee Dave, I'm very sorry that Mazzy failed to mic you. So you have to
Oh
talk.
no, that's okay. I probably should be muted, by default. Right on something.
Chris, did you get CD or vinyl?
And he could have sold advertising on your forehead.
Did you get CD or vinyl, Chris?
I would vinyl. Why would I get CD? Yeah, I vinyl. Yeah.
I'm waiting for my.
So I
vinyl
didn't
box.
think
I do.
back in the 90s, I started buying a lot of CDs, and I don't anymore.
Okay.
I think I can think of
Just for people to know.
Yeah.
March, the weekend of the 20th-ish, 21st-ish, I'm going to be in Los Angeles for Vinyl Con.
I'll warn him.
That sounds like a con job, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm staying with Chris and his lovely wife for several nights, and we're gonna hang out and go to the Vinyl Con. And
I'm coming.
You're coming down?
I think so, because I think me and Phil we're continuing our writing anyways, and so I'll come down, do some writing, and I mean, hopefully we'll be done mixing this new 7-horse record by then, but if not, I can work on that too. But
I just need to know how many people to make the reservation for at Musso. That's all.
Rob, you gonna tag along?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
I unfortunately I end up driving people when they come to town.
Oh no! Do you? Wax.
Why you say no? You're the one I drive around the most.
I know. I said I feel bad, but you do a great job. We'll say that. It's awesome.
All right, I'm taking over a little bit to show because I went out today. I always pick up a lot, but it's stellar stuff. But I want to point out one record. So I don't know how many people get into Sun Ra.
I've got that album. It's a good album.
Well, I want to talk about this album specifically because I think if people are afraid, don't be afraid. You know, I think his like later stuff is kind of very electronic-y, experimental and stuff. So from what I understand, this came out in 89. I don't know exactly when he passed away, but it was not long after this album. He signed a deal with A&M Records. They had this label. I think it was for jazz, not 100%. But there's a Don Cherry on this. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I have to say, I don't know what Sun Ra's budget was to record his albums.
$6.
But this by far, A&M gave him money.
Oh, cool.
I will go out and say, this is the best sounding Sun Ra record, which I don't know if that's much. This is an excellent sounding record.
What kind of version of Sun Ra is that?
It is whimsical jazz. It's not crazy. Regular people are on here like Gilmore, but Billy Higgins is on it. It's such a joyous album. I don't know if I can really say that about a lot of Sun Ra records.
Yeah.
They are having a great time doing it. It's more like probably earlier Sun Ra, but it's so well recorded. The instrumentation separation, it sounds fantastic. This is on translucent vinyl, and it's just this is the best sounding Sun Ra record there is. And he passed away after this album, and I think they recorded. I think stuff that was recorded on the session were used in other things, but this is a fantastic album. If you can find it, I suggest get it.
You know,
and Rob, I forgot. Is that a PCM digital recording? The way
I didn't investigate that, but I'm gonna assume it was digitally recorded.
You know,
from that.
The thing about Sun Ra is the perfect example. His discography of whack-a-mole. You never know what you're going to get. There's about 5 or 6 different directions.
Well,
commercial, single stuff. I mean, in a good way.
I don't know if he ever did commercial stuff.
Well, he did the singles or the.
All the stuff that comes from his estate that Sundays seems to be issuing. That's him experimenting with Moog and stuff.
Yeah,
some shit. But
you don't remember.
This is the best entry into Sun Ra.
Yeah, it's way more refined.
You don't remember his Home Alone 4 soundtrack he did?
You know what? When I come to your house next time, I got to remember to bring like jacks and cars and stuff to spray all over the ground. So I picked up a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to show everything, but I got 3 stellar records. Okay. So I got, this is, I think, being reissued maybe as a classic. I don't know. This is a 1975 Van Gelder Studio, which people have informed me that this comes from the original plates. This is excellent because I have a copy already. It's a Black Bee, but this is a great sounding record. Dexter Gordon, who's on here with him? It's Paul Chambers, Kenny Drew, and Philly Joe Jones. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
that cover. I missed the cover.
Great cover.
Oh yeah.
What do you think he's Superman or something? What's going on there?
Oh God, I wouldn't hit the laugh track even if I could do it right now. I have a Music Matters 45 of this, which Mazzy hates, but this is a 1975.
I like the record. I just not a
Van
fan of
Gelder.
45 RPMs. This is
Yeah.
a no 45 RPM channel.
The blue labels are good on those.
Yeah.
Okay, here are the 2 big finds today.
Okay, the big finds.
I found this is a 1970 pressing on that when they went for a year on this.
Okay, did you
Oh,
do
yeah.
that? Did you show that? Okay, hold that up and shut up for a second.
Okay.
Hold it up. Hold the cover up. The corner of Grant and Green, upper Grant in North Beach, a few blocks from City Lights Books. It's by the Savoy Tivoli. That's Jim Marshall photographed that picture. That's San Francisco. That's the heart of North Beach, and I love that album.
Yes, and stellar lineup: Larry Young, Bobby Hutchinson, and Elvin Jones.
And what
So,
what version of that is?
It's 1970 Van Gelder stereo.
Oh yeah.
Because that's coming out on.
No, I think it came out as a classic.
It
already.
came out as a classic. They won't do it as a tone poet. I feel bad, but
Wait,
I had the 45 music.
it's not out though yet, right?
Yeah, it came out like a year or 2 ago.
What?
Okay.
What? What?
Well,
Can I-
we'll straighten
can
you
I
out.
yell? I know you're a bass player. Do I have to spell it out in phonetics?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is an OG mono. This I got it cheap. Goes for quite a bit of dough. This Benny Green
Oh yeah.
starring with it says on here Jug, which I'm gonna assume it's Gene Ammons. And he probably contractually couldn't go
What is
by
it called?
his name.
What does it say?
Jug,
Jug.
which is the nickname for Gene Ammons. I'm gonna guess he was on
I
Prestige.
would have thought it was the nickname for Melania.
All right. Again, I'm not hitting the laugh button. So I'm guessing contractually he couldn't use his name, so they used his nickname. Billy Root. Don't know much about Billy Root. Sonny Clark, Ike Isaacs, and Elvin Jones. This is a very desirable record. It's mono.
Great cover.
It's good. This was a good pickup. So very desirable record. And I have everything. I don't want to manipulate the time.
Okay, I want to show a record now because I'm going to continue with the theme at hand. And even though we veered off it, but the beat poetry, the beat generation, one of the great records is this Ornette Coleman record, The Shape of Jazz to Come. It's such a great record. It's a little avant, but it's accessible avant-garde. It obviously
It's a great album.
yeah, it's a great album. It's got Don Cherry on it, Charlie Hayden on it, Billy Higgins. I fucking love this record. Now, I have the box, the Atlantic box they did 10 years ago. Atlantic, that's came out of Rhino in the UK, so it's from digital cuts. It sounds really good. I wouldn't mind for Rhino to do. They probably won't.
Well, no. Okay,
box.
if you want an excellent copy of that record,
This is a good copy, but
well,
what's
hold on.
it has the flip back sleeves, which is kind of cool.
All right,
Like,
you win, Mazzy. But if
No, I
you're
don't
not
win.
Mazzy,
this ain't a competition, Rob.
so Vinyl Me
I bet you
Please, Vinyl Me Please, which is defunct, put out a mono version of that record, which is excellent. And if you go on Discogs, I'm almost positive you can get it for $25.
If I ask like one of my members to send it to me, would that be me grifting? Because I already have people.
No,
pissed off.
it wouldn't. Grifting would be you taking advantage of someone to sell them a shitty record for a lot of money.
And then he'd have his own.
No,
meme
I don't
card.
do that. I don't
it would
His
be
own meme
it would be the VC version of you being in the Epstein files if you did that.
card. Is there any redacted photos?
Yeah.
You don't know who the other person is. You don't know it.
That is the record that I got into him on. That's
Yeah.
love that record.
This is another one I played at 52 on my volume thing today. It was so good. But, you know, okay, I want to go into this thing again. I'm sticking with the beat poetry jazz analogy thing, because to me, in my mind, and as part of it is, I'm way young, obviously, for that period of time, but it crosses over into the noir cinema, television, that stuff, the jazzy thing. You know, Hollywood, you know, pulled it and made it theirs, like I said earlier with Maynard V. Krebs. But I showed this record. This is the 33 version. I had the 45, which I still have, which is amazing, the Chad Kassem. But this is the 33 Illinois
That's Kassem too.
Yeah, Chad Kassem too. 33. But that one song alone, Harlem Nocturne, makes it all worthwhile. With the theme of Peter Gunn or one of those things. It is so good and so sensual and so wonderful. Also, I wanted to, so I'll show these just for the hell of it. This is like, I have a section I keep upstairs. I call it a loungy cocktail music.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Peter Gunn stuff, Henry Mancini soundtrack, that noir stuff that kind of fits in that volume 2. More Peter Gunn and Mr. Lucky. Look at that. Look at the artwork.
So
The soundtrack is so good. And lastly, one that I bought only for the cover. The record's okay, but you know, if anyone out there is shooting heroin right now as we record this record,
Hold on. The opinions of Mazzy do not reflect the rest of us on screen with him.
I don't condone
Especially
drugs.
Coffee Dave.
I've never shot up,
We call them junkies.
but I thought
we
this
don't
is.
call them users.
I think this is one of the most fucked up, coolest, fucked up covers, record covers. I just love this cover. Look at that. I mean,
What label
that
is
one-
that?
that's one scary motherfucker. This is like
That's what they use to induce labor in women, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
this should be the thumbnail of the this video.
Would have been
but-
used in the Dare campaigns if it had just been a different timing, man. You know,
Just say no, Dave.
just say no. We'll just
Okay.
I tell you what, though, Mazzy, as far as that generation of art and what was going on, I was heavily into reading. I read all the books from that era, all the Kerouac, all the Bukowski, all that stuff, and heavily influenced my song.
Hey, I have some other ones because I feel like they lend themselves
Okay.
to it.
We do have other one a topic, and everyone's welcome to stay when we get to it in a few minutes.
I got
It's totally different. We're changing. I know you got like guests. You have cocktail guests.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be cooking dinner right now, but that's
Hail.
I'll be
Hail.
out there in a minute. Oh,
Honey, come upstairs now. I'm not
Yeah, right.
emulating anybody here.
yeah.
Chianti Classico.
Chianti Classico.
I tell you what, I'm sorry to interrupt, but as I'm drinking this is pretty fucking good for 25.
Yeah, I've had that. It's really good, and they have a couple Rufio. Give me a rupee. They have some good Chiantis and some
Well,
decent-
Rufino has very expensive high-end Chiantis. Okay, this is not one of them. This is like this is like their best of the least expensive stuff. You know, does anybody know what that is?
that's
A rooster.
okay.
Yes, thank you. They call that the Gallo Nero. It's the Black Rooster.
Now, question for you, Joey.
Yes, sir.
You open the bottle of wine, you taste it, you go, "This is a good bottle of wine."
Yeah.
Are you allowed to comment on the quality of the wine after your sixth glass?
Sixth glass. Well, there's only really about 4 or 5 glasses, maybe 5 if you're pouring them correctly in a bottle. So 6 glasses, you're deep into your second bottle. I think you're right. Now at that point, it's time to just
It's time to just enjoy the wine and not
enjoy the night. You're done. You're done talking.
I'm being summoned.
Things only get sharper.
Great seeing you guys. Norman, see you in a month. Or
See you in March.
Yeah. Okay. Bye now.
Thank you for coming up.
We'll see you at inventory.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if we talked about it when we opened our San Rafael store back in 1976 or whatever. One of the biggest stores we had in the chain. You know what band played for our party, our opening party?
You already told me. I'm not.
I told you that, but
yeah, I'm not going to.
Pablo Cruz.
Hold on. There you go. Love will find a way.
Is that what you want to do when she says goodbye?
I'm going to switch now topics. None of that like Beat Generation jazz shit. We're getting into, to me, the greatest labels in the world. I'm sorry, Joey, you never recorded for the label. But when I was growing up, I know the Beatles were on Capitol and all that shit, but Capitol, I thought they weren't very good. Beach Boys, the Beatles, they didn't even sign. It was like, okay, we acquiesced, we're going to put out their fucking records. They refused at first. But the coolest fucking records in the 60s was Warner Brothers records. Warner Reprise. Stan was Conran, whatever his name is, who was their copywriter that wrote this great copy. They stuck with artists. And what I want to talk about for the remaining 45 minutes, more or less, is like all these groups that they put out. But I want to talk about, do you remember, maybe you guys do, some of you do. Let me find one here. Okay. Remember the inserts here? These inserts? The inner sleeves in the late 60s into the 70s. The Warner Reprise Lost Leaders, okay? For $2, you put 2 single dollars. I didn't even have a fucking checkbook at 14 or whatever, 13, 14, 15. You put it in an envelope and you'd get a double album for $2 fucking dollars.
Did you
okay?
do it?
I did it. I got every single one here.
How many in total did they put out?
I don't know. I didn't count.
Well,
them.
you knew this in rehearsal.
I did. Anyway, the Warner Reprise Lost Leader. This is a later one because this has more of them. So $2.
Kind of like
Okay.
the Columbia Record House
Now,
Club in the 70s.
I may have them out of
Yeah.
order, but these are two from 1969. Okay. Now,
I've never seen those.
okay. Well,
You usually see about 3 to 4 of these.
you see them sometimes in used store. These were not available. You can't get these in any store. Only online. You would send in $2. And I was so excited about this label. I wanted to work for Warner Brothers. I have a video coming next week about this a little bit. I did do one a couple years ago. Well, Asylum was later. They became WEA when Asylum came on, like in 73 or whatever it was.
Right.
But first, they were Warner Reprise. All these variations. They were Warner 7 Arts with the movie studio, all that stuff that Rob probably knows more about.
Warner, Electra.
But they had these insert pages with this wonderful thing. So, for instance, the 1969 Warner Songbook, I would buy records that I heard on this. And let's talk about some of these bands. Let me just read side 1. Opens up with Songs for Sale by Wildman Fisher, My Sunday Feeling, Jethro Tull, The Pentangle, Sweet Child, Van Morrison from Astral Weeks, Slim Slow Slider, Family, the English band Family, Second Generation Woman. That was a 1968 album. That album was called In the Doll's House, I believe. It's the reason the Beatles changed the name of their album from Doll's House to just the Beatles. It became the White Album. Neil Young's first 2 albums are here. We have I've Been Waiting for You.
Mazzy, for a second. Bill brings up some trivia that Dr. Demento wrote the liner
He
notes.
wrote some of them, but a lot of the guys, Cronin, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name, was the main guy. We got Tom Rashawn here. I want to bring him up sometime. So Tom Rashawn, you need to come up here sometime. The one of the GTOs is the cover.
I don't know how we can get him on.
He's from the GTOs. Thank you, Tom. Tom worked for Warner Brothers later, and many years later. I tried to work for Warner Brothers in San Francisco, and I never got a job.
Mazzy didn't make it through the extensive training camp.
Anyway, you got Van Dyke Parks, Everly Brothers, Randy Newman, Bo Brummels, Tiny Tim, the Mothers of Invention, the Fugs,
Now,
Sweetwater, Joni Mitchell, Eric Anderson, Miriam Makeba, Jimi Hendrix, the Kinks, Electric Prunes.
No.
These records were like an introduction to music. And I tell you, for $2, Lost Leader, it got me to buy records from this label. And
is there one of those that is most desirable than others?
I don't know, but I'm going to show you the covers, and we can talk about the Warner catalog and
the one with the
Reprise.
guy and the girl on the couch. That's the best one.
This.
Wait, before you do that, I gotta go.
Okay, bye, Joey.
I highly recommend. And next week we'll see. Maybe I can come down and serve Dave some coffee in person live on next week's Saturday.
I would be honored.
We'll see you next week. Bye, Joey.
See you later.
Okay, yeah, Stan Cornin. There's a great book. Stan Cornin wrote the liner. Can you fix this? Stan Cornin wrote the liner notes to most of these. Maybe Dr. Demento too. I think Dr. Demento was a little later though. But he actually has a great book on the record business. Read his book; it's hysterical, right, Tom? I don't know if you've read that book. I'm just going to show the covers really fast, and we can talk about all these. They're all double records, $2 a piece. The radio show,
Kind of like Peter Maxey.
The Big Ball.
Yeah, never seen that one.
Menu Hot Platters.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Now, this is a parody. If you know the whole California Whole Earth Access catalog, the whole Burbank catalog.
Look at the back. You have to get that in.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Captain Beefheart calls it God's golf ball. I mean, what a sense of humor, right? You have appetizers. We're not showing these in order. The Days of Wine and Vinyl. Joe should have been here for this.
Yeah.
Joey should have been here for that one.
That's like the weaker one.
Okay, there's so
I
many
hope
of them.
Tom didn't design that.
Hard Goods. Now this one has like Seals and Croft, Graham Central Station, Leo Sayer, Ted Nugent, and Amboy Dukes, Osabisa, Frank Zappa, Montrose, Doobie Brothers, Foghat, Bob Seger, Van Morrison, and Kiss.
They announced art department.
Why is Kiss on here?
Overtime.
Why is Kiss on there?
All right, someone's saying, can you go back to the Burbank one when you're done, please?
Yeah. Okay. We will after that. We'll get to that after.
When you're done.
Okay. Burbank's Finest, all meet. You know, the whole thing is Warner Brothers was based in Burbank. They had a great studio.
It still is.
Well, but like Rhino has moved to arts. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The studio, the record company's not there anymore.
Bob Hope International Airport.
But all meet. But you have these great inserts of record. These are so great. Non-dairy creamer. This is a single one, so it's only $1. Tony Joan White, Peter Green, Little Feat, Curved Air, John and Beverly Martin, Ron Nagel. Okay. Together, a single one also, and this is Stone Ground, Faces, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Mother Earth, Doobie Brothers, Crazy Horse, T-Rex, Alice Cooper.
Not available today.
Hold on, I want to clear some up. He is still alive. Dr. Demento is still alive.
I wonder where they got this idea from.
I have no clue.
But I think that's great, right? You know, John Renborn, Martin Mull, Deep Purple, Curved Air, Tower of Power,
very underappreciated.
Jeff and Maria Moldar.
Very underappreciated.
Anyway, that one. Deep Ear. Deep Ear.
Wait, what was on the back of that? Oh, you hold it the other way. I thought something.
Exactly. I mean, this is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Okay, we're going to go through these pretty quickly. The Force, this is a later one.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. Now this is okay. What movie is this, Rob? You're a movie freak. What movie is this? Ben-Hur?
No, it's not Ben-Hur.
Topo Gigio?
No, it's one of those 60s.
Top Copy? Top Copy?
No. Well,
Schlaggers.
It's like one of those. Someone help me. It's one of those desert.
Yeah.
epic
Anyway, it's got
Where's Kirk Douglas?
Miriam Makeba, Rod McEwen, Joni Mitchell, the Neon Philharmonic, Randy Newman, Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Mike Post Coalition, the San Sebastian Strings. Remember the Earth, the Wind, and the whatever it's called. Frank Sinatra, the Vogues, the Watts 103rd Street Band, Mason Williams, and Glenn Yarbrough. So it's literally schlagers. I love that. Now we have a couple of the Southern boys there, and is Joe in the audience here from the South? We got the Southern boys here. We got Jorge. Interesting. Wow, I didn't realize Jorge Calderon is on here. I never heard his solo records. Jorge Calderon worked on most of the Warren Zevon albums and wrote with Warren. You got Jesse Colin Young, The Four Seasons, Elvin Bishop, George Benson, Bootsy's Rubber Band, Todd Rundgren, the Doobie Brothers, Michael Franks, John Sebastian, Leon and Mary Russell, Rawson Roland Kirk, Emmylou Harris, Slade, Peaches. This is the one I was thinking of. Peaches Volume 2.
Well, that's the record store, right?
Yeah, obviously. Well, this is before it was a record store, I think. This is like Elvin Bishop, Wet Willie, Bobby Whitlock, Greg Allman, Allman Brothers, Hydra, Percy Sledge, Kenny Odell. Anyway, it's got this sort of the Southern,
I don't know what that is.
the Southern rock stuff. Now, this is two different covers of the same release. Zapped. You Zappa fans.
Yeah, but that was a two for thing. I thought that was just a comp.
But it's the things that were on Zappa's Bizarre, like Alice Cooper.
That's how you got them with a mail-in.
Yes.
Okay.
Alice Cooper, Captain Beefheart, Judy Henske, Wildman Fisher, Alice Cooper, Lord Buckley,
Zappa did not love Warner
the GTOs. There's two different cover versions of this. And lastly, this isn't one of them, but I got this. I included this. Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. So I think Warner Brothers was the coolest fucking label.
Well, wait, you didn't show the one with the guy and girl on the couch. That's the best one.
Which
best
one is
cover?
Did I have it here? Maybe I don't have it.
And the badge, the Warner Brothers badge.
Can we get Mazzy, the one with the guy and the girl on the couch or on the floor?
Is it in here?
Did I show it?
No.
Well, then maybe not. Obviously not that one. Which is the one you're talking about? Maybe I don't have it.
Try and find it.
I thought I had them all, but maybe I'm missing one. Anyway, the great thing about it is it turned me on to a lot of great music, and you get samplers. Like I remember, the Doobie Brothers. I mean, even though I heard about them in the Bay Area, I got into the Doobie Brothers. I got into Ry Cooder. I got into Randy Newman through that. I got into a lot of these bands. Jeff and Maria Muldaur. When Maria was Maria D'Amato, marries Jeff Muldaur. Obviously later in
At the Way.
Yeah. Anyway, so is that
Put your camel to bed.
is that the Massage cover? I don't know what you're talking about. Looney
No,
Tunes.
I'm trying to find it right now.
has
Here
a
it
Red
is.
Six track.
Here it is. Well, this is a bad one, but it's this one. That's the one I always see.
I don't have that one.
Can someone get Mazzy that one to complete his collection?
Okay, so Tom Rashawn says this has a Rare Hendrix song on it.
That's a great box. That's a cool box.
What's on that one?
A version of Stepping Stone. So you got the Faces, Black Sabbath, Hard Meat. I don't remember Hard Meat.
People your age, Mazzy, have a problem with that.
Fleetwood Mac from Kiln House. Oh, here's Hendrix, Stepping Stone. I bet you that's been on one of the later issues. I didn't know that was a.
Is that on any record?
Maybe it is now, but I don't know. I bet by now it is.
Looney Tunes.
Okay, John Simon. I'm a big fan of. This is where I got John Simon because it has the Elves song. The Elves song. This really turned me on to John Simon. Nobody knows who that is. The first Ry Cooder record is on here. Gordon Lightfoot, Jimmy Webb. The Performance soundtrack by Jack Nitzsche. Little Richard, when he was on Warner Brothers, your friend from Omnivore did those Reprise records.
Mm-hmm.
The Grateful Dead from American Beauty. You got Sugar Magnolia. You got the Kinks. Which Kinks song is on here? Ape Man. I love that from Lola. You got Van Morrison from Moondance. Wait, no, you got Call Me Up in Dreamland.
Now, here's a question for you, Mazzy.
Yes.
Sonically, how do those sound?
They sound excellent. They sound excellent. But, to be honest with you, up until the last 15 years, 20 years, I never looked in Dead Wax. I never looked at mastering.
No one is talking about Dead Wax. You are. I'm just saying when they make those comps, they're splicing tape together. I'm just saying, how does it sound?
It sounds really good. It's like a greatest, like a greatest hits, a comp. You have to splice things together for a greatest hits. So, I think they're cool. I think Warner Brothers was the coolest fucking label. They had a heyday, obviously. Was that before or around when Mo?
I don't know if they had a heyday. I think they put out a lot of when they had other labels like Sire and stuff. They put out
absolutely. I mean, they're a big label. We obviously Rhino now is their catalog division, but
Netflix might own them at some point.
Netflix, right? It might be part of Trump Tower.
Then they can put out a movie, and you can buy popcorn for $100 a bucket.
Yes. Did you see that pic?
Or go to a hedge fund.
So,
this is a good one from the 80s, but this is Sire. Upstairs at Eric's.
Oh, I like that. Yaz. That's Yaz.
That's a great sounding record.
Yeah. So I think in the last half hour, as if Concert Buddy Chaz is watching, I think the last half hour we're into free form time.
Echo and the Bunnymen.
Well, yeah.
Can I suggest a topic that we always start at when you're at the end of your stream? The airing of grievances. Go ahead, Coffee Dave. I know you got a lot.
Oh, grievances?
I'm joking.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? It's silence. Silence is security.
Now, Dave.
Yeah.
Matt, the only thing we know about you and you collecting records and vinyl is through over the years of Mazzy describing that your dwelling is not always in the order. Have you organized your records?
No, it's a mess. It's an absolute
like
disaster.
mine. There's records everywhere here.
Yeah, I can't honestly. I'm at a point where, well, I've got a problem. Obviously, like I buy.
I think everyone does.
Yeah, I've got probably 500 albums that are still sealed that I haven't even.
And that leads us on to what's in Dave's bag.
To another thousands and thousands and thousands of albums.
Dave bought a bag of records this week at Sonic Boom, and he brought them here, and he's just gonna. I don't know. I haven't looked at the bag.
But I'll make it fast. See, this is very quick.
Uh-oh. Fast reflux says that's all the caffeine in the system.
It's empty.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but this is okay. So this was just completely impromptu. Now I bought it. I haven't heard that, but I just picked it, and it's not even open yet.
Did you know anything about that record before you bought it?
No.
And this is related. Is he related to George Harrison of the Beatles?
You're being an idiot. What does it say on that hype sticker?
It says DJ Harrison Electro Soul. Soul from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, where my alma mater.
Okay.
Wow.
There was a good soul funk scene. What year is that record from? In the 70s in Richmond.
Well, Stones Throw, that's what got me to it, because I love Stones Throw as a label. I'm trying to read. I don't have my, because I have old.
2020.
You know who hung out in Richmond?
This is last year, 2025.
You
know who hung out in Richmond during the 70s? Two artists hung out there.
Did Richmond fall? Is it when Richmond fell?
In the 70s, you fool. Not the 1870s. Pat Benatar and Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Weird. That's a good trivia question.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Okay.
You don't think what's true?
I love
that. It's George Harrison's brother.
Oh.
So this is Ricardo Villalobos, who's like an electronic DJ kind of a guy. I hadn't heard. I mean, super conductive. We're a superconductor. I think it's like from the late 90s. They were on, again, the label that they're on was one of those groovy, awesome ones that the electronic that he was on before. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I have them on vinyl. They came out in like the late 90s,
this is
I think.
2022.
Anyway. Yeah.
Now, first Shane, House of Freaks came out around when I was in college there. Excellent band, a guitar and drums. Unfortunately, I think about 20 years ago, one of them was murdered. Him and his family were murdered in their house.
Thank you for that, Rob.
But House of Freaks is excellent. Yes.
Okay.
Now, Dave, are you a big electronics kind of guy? Do you have a lot?
I am, but it's just there's so much of it, and it's just so hard to keep. I mean, like whether it's Richard P. James, like Aphex Twin, stuff like that, which I really like a lot. Go all the way to, I mean, yeah, it's just. Do
you have foam parties at your house?
I do not have foam parties, but I'll consider it though. I'll consider it. I might get a smoke machine too. I'm gonna work on that one. That would be different era though.
Well, I like this cover. I don't know what this is.
So that's no, I just picked that. I've just listened to that. Actually, it's pretty good, but I can't.
This is what is this? This is I can't read that type. One of the finest electronic albums of 1998, remastered. Who is this? For fans of Goblin's Dawn of the Dead soundtrack, George Romero's, Charlie Mingus, Thelonious Monk, Tony Williams, wow, Allen Ginsberg, Eric Dolphy. We should have brought this out during the beat section.
So wait, so it's a comp of what?
It's just an electronic comp.
I need to hear this one.
It's remixes of their songs, right?
I put it on, listened to the whole thing. It sounded pretty awesome, but I've never heard it before. This is where I don't even know.
I want to hear this awesome record, as the kids
Yeah,
say.
you can.
Awesome.
I'll leave it with.
Okay.
I'll leave it with.
You have to leave it. But,
Yeah. And of course, this is a little.
We know this one.
Kraft reissued it. I had to buy another copy.
Kraft
of it. Forget
did
about
a
it.
great version of this, and of
Awesome
course,
pressing.
if you ever haven't seen the documentary,
Yeah,
Big
see the
Star,
documentary. It is
it's
excellent.
great, and Kraft did a great job on these.
In fact,
the originals are expensive. Just get the fucking Kraft. Don't.
in fact, Omnivore reissued a ton of their stuff, including the soundtrack to the documentary.
We like Big Star,
And you know
and
what? The documentary didn't cost $40 million, Mazzy.
exactly. And Big Star. Okay,
Was it better?
when I was interviewing, if you haven't watched the interview I did this past week with Andrew Sandoval because of his Kinks book, really great. He talks about flying from the UK with the Kinks master tapes with Kevin Gray, who mastered that mono box. He brought the fucking tapes from the UK. But there was a CD box set like during the CD era, 20 years ago, that Big Star CD box set, which is incredible. Sandoval put that together.
Are they going to re-put out that mono box?
I doubt it.
Oh, I saw a little stutter.
No, I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. I didn't even ask him. I doubt they will. They're just record companies don't want to.
Don't you have a phone like the bat phone under glass that you could lift up and call him?
Okay. We got.
I haven't opened it yet.
Errol Stubbs, tell us about this.
Numero group. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Great. Well, who is this?
It's
1986 funk soul from Alabama funk soul.
So I've yet to hear it, but I just got it a few days ago. So it's just like on the list. It'll be up there. There's just another like rando Echo and the Bunnymen live.
Oh yeah, this was a record store day.
RSD, man.
I didn't get this Echo and the Bunnymen live from
for all the fans out there that like
2001 to 2005. They're B-sides.
And then
to block people like you, Roberto.
Oh, I
see, and then this, and that's pretty cool.
Japanese ambient, right?
Man, you have the records of a man half your age, Dave.
Well, I have the psyche of a man half my age sometimes too. You know, like
we are all 13-year-olds mentally, I believe.
What happened? I don't know. Yeah, and there's more, but anyway, you get the gist. Just a rando selection.
That's kind of like a what's in my bag that Dave pulled. I love that.
Dave, I here's what I'm gonna say about you. You're a less pretentious Mazzy. You just don't.
Well, I know so little, I mean,
you're open to a lot of types of music.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you delete this guy? guy?
I talk about
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I do love bands that I don't want to like, that from my upbringing that I won't mention. A lot of bad rock. So anyway, my whole thing, but of course jazz, and like even the Mingus stuff earlier. I mean, I listened to Mingus for the first time probably when I was 18 or 19. I think it was like 1988 or something. 89, I don't know. So anyway, but I mean, I can't speak as a expert on any of it really. I just, I'm just a lay guy who likes to listen to stuff. Is that it? Does that sound right? I don't know.
Now this guy, you need to come here. You need to appear on this show sometime. Do you want to come on like one Saturday night? We can do a remote. He's a Canadian, so he's close. We met a couple times.
Yeah.
Good guy.
By the way, I'm sorry. That was a douchebag who I blamed.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Do you ever listen to artists such as Steve Roach and Robert Rich? You're talking you're talking about Reich. You're not talking about Steve Reich, right?
Rich doesn't know.
I don't know about that.
Steve.
I love. Okay, organized sound. You have the Bill Frisell Spaceman cover from that Bill Frisell album cover. I like that album actually. I'm in from my vinyl lounge. Yeah. Next time, reach out to me if you want to come up next week. We could talk because, yeah, good guy. Ambient music artist. I don't know him.
I've heard.
I worked with a guy at Record
heard
Factory
that.
by the name of Riley Roach. That was his real name, Riley
I've
Roach.
heard of Steve Roach though, and yeah, again, like,
Different than Steve Wright, obviously.
well, and the
yeah.
ambient thing is its own. Again, you could go on forever. I mean, there's just so much of it, and it's some of it's incredible, and then some of it, you know, is just I don't know. It's like anything else. It's good, 1,000,000 miles wide, and, you know, an inch deep, and you can just go.
You know,
through it, you know,
The one thing about these live streams I'm learning, the last 20 minutes, it's like you're trying to stay up to make the content great. So
more coffee.
Loki is Loki. Welcome, Loki. I appreciate your support, Loki. But Dave's here. I think it's time for a live whack-a-mole, right?
Uh-oh. Do you have like a trash bag that you can cut a hole so Dave doesn't get crap on him from?
Oh, I could probably find one fast. I wasn't well prepared. That
Oh.
I need some scissors.
I
too,
just
some
showed
nice
this.
Sharp
This
scissors.
is the final posthumous record by Kinky Friedman. Kinky Friedman is Texas
What?
Jew Boys.
When did it
This
come
is
out?
a great cowboy record. Kinky Friedman and his Texas Jew Boys. This made my top list of last year. This is a great
Oh,
record.
last year.
He ran for governor of Texas. He didn't make it. He was a great mystery writer later years. Put your biscuits in the oven, your buns in the bed. Ride 'em Jesus. Ride 'em Jew Boy. Ride 'em 6 million miles. They ain't making Jews like Jesus anymore. Just totally cool stuff. Okay.
What year did that's? What year did that
Where's
come out?
Where's
Hmm.
Kinky Friedman? Okay. I'm gonna have to file these away later. Okay. I need a librarian. Anybody want to?
Don't allow people in your house
No.
from here.
Oh,
Stay
you know,
out.
okay.
Stay
This is an
out.
audio file. This is a great sounding record with the worst fucking cover.
Off label.
It's not. This is
Oh.
What's that fidelity? Steve Hoffman, Kevin Gray. What's the label called? Manufactured by anyway, this Donovan record. Okay. Kevin Gray cut this was I think Steve Hoffman and Kevin Gray, or maybe just Steve Hoffman. What this is Storyteller. The first disc is 33 1/3, and it's Donovan's folk record. This is a sonic, amazing, all analog cut that Steve Hoffman did, and you can go on his forums, and he'll.
When did that album originally come out?
Well, this version came out in 2005. This
But
version.
what album does it come from?
Well, this is Audio Fidelity. The early Donovan records were on so many different labels in the UK and America when he was a folk singer before his psychedelic pop, like Catch the Wind, Universal Soldier, Sonny Good Street. Incredible sounding. Now, what's interesting is side 3 and 4 are cut 45 RPM with only 2 songs aside. I don't know how he got this, but he got the licensing and the tapes to do Sunshine Superman, Mellow Yellow, Hurdy-Gurdy Man, and Atlantis, all analog, cut at 45. Now, you know me, I don't like...
Just to clear this out, those are the original recordings of those.
Yes,
songs.
original record. And you know I don't like 45, but it's like an EP, basically. It's double record. The main record is 33. The EP, the later stuff, is 45. Incredible sounding. I think Michael Poetry found a copy of this at some year. If you see this record, it goes for some money.
Long out of print.
It's long out of print. It sounds, it's audiophile.
You talk about that record ever so often.
I have. I brought it up a few times. Yeah. It's a great sounding record. I haven't played it with my new speakers. I need to pull it out. Well, actually, I just pulled it out, didn't I? So there we go. Donovan.
The Spenders will give it due justice.
The Spenders will do well. And not Mary Spender. Okay. One more. Ready?
Rando
Whack-a-mole.
comes out of nowhere. Came
Uh-oh.
out of nowhere.
Oh. The Pink Floyd.
Oh, the Saucerful.
Saucerful of Secrets, of course. This is their second album, right? This is the second album.
That's a very clean copy, man.
This is the reissue with the this is a reissue from what 2018, 16, whatever.
That's a rad album.
Yeah, I mean, I have different these are from digital cuts, the ones that came out when they did those reissues. I think James Guthrie that mastered these. They actually sound really good.
They sound great.
Considering the recording of this and the time, I think these sound great. I do have an original American, the Tower Records. Remember, Tower put these out in America, and not to be confused with Tower Records, the record store chain, but Tower Records was a division of Capitol. So Pink Floyd.
And wasn't a nice pair, Adam Hard Mother and that album together as one? Like when they
It was an American comp. Yeah, it was an American comp.
I can't. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, one more or two more. We're gonna end we're almost at the end of our.
We have 15 minutes. You could go probably 8 more.
The end of our lifespan is.
I
love this album so much.
The record everybody needs in their collection, whether they like it or not.
If you've lost your hearing.
Okay, my story. If you're new to the channel, now if you're a regular, you know this story already. Okay, the only time I ever stole a record, W.H. Grant was a chain like Woolworths. It was Woolworth and Grant's. I don't know if you had it up here, but in Washington, but in California, maybe other cities.
They had Woolworths.
Woolworths and Grant's. And then there's this one outdoor mall in Daly City, California, right next to San Francisco, Grant's. And they had like 2 back-to-back record bins at the back of the store. And in the outdoor mall, the front of the store, that was towards the back doors of the parking lot. I had a long, a safari jacket, corduroy with the big safari belts and stuff. I stole this record. I'm not proud. I stole it.
5-fingered it.
Was it 1968, 69? Whenever this record came out. No. It came out in the 60s. No, didn't it? Someone tell me what. Okay, is Bill still here? What year did this fucking record come out? It's like 68, 69. All right. I steal this record. I'm not proud, but I did. I think my friend Larry, 69. Thank you, Jeff. So I was 15 years old. I stole this fucking record. I'm admitting it now. Statute of limitations are over. I'm not proud. My friend Larry coaxed me, but I can't blame him. He stole something else. I stole this. So I get it home. I play it a couple days. I don't get it. Surprise. A couple days later, I go back to Grant's. There's these little old ladies working at the store, and I return. I said, I got this as a birthday gift. Can I get something else? I'm sorry I opened it, and they said, sure. And they, in the record business, when we had it, once you opened it, you had to get the same thing. You couldn't, like if people said, I want something else, I don't like it, I would say, we're not a fucking library, right? So you get the same thing. But in a store like that, they're not primarily a record store. So I went back and I don't remember what I got, but I years later when I worked in stores, I got
the statute of limitations out over.
That's what I said. But
sure, there's Mr. Maslow, you can get that. You don't like that Doc Owl Blues track on there.
There's something charming about this record. I mean, Larry is dead now. I have his drum set here. Larry has passed away in 2013. My friend Larry died. This drum set I had, but he was the instigator. It wasn't Stonestown. It was in the Westlake Shopping Center. The Westlake Shopping Center in Daly City, California.
And it was like it happened yesterday.
But I have that memory. I don't remember last fucking week. I mean, I don't know what Larry stole. I don't remember. It's funny.
Larry stole ladies' underpants.
We talk about, I do this series, Memories of a Vinyl Junkie, and Larry and Danny were the guys. We were in a band together.
Try harder, Arnie or Fire Victim Ray.
Larry and Danny and I were in the band together. Some of you have heard that single we did in 1966. This is not that pressing. I mean, this is a 70s pressing. So I don't really give a shit either way. I mean, it's not like the early pressing's going to sound any fucking better, really. Come on. Okay. But I remember
nothing sounds as sweet as stolen music.
Exactly. But Larry and I think it's a masterpiece too, in a weird way. Larry and I would buy different records so we can listen to each other. We very rarely early on in our buying career would buy the same record because we wanted to hear 2 records in particular. And Tom Rashawn's going to like this. One of them, he bought a copy of After Bathing at Baxter's before I did. And I remember, of course, we all loved Surrealistic Pillow the year before, or that same year, right? 67. End of the year, Baxter's comes out, and we're up in his room playing that. And it was like, what the fuck is this? We liked it, but I remember liking Martha and Two Heads on that record. But it's a weird ass record when you're 14 years old. No, 13 years old. We were 13 years old. We had just been bar mitzvahed. Both of us, our bar mitzvahs were a month apart. Too much information. If you watch my, go to the playlist on my channel, the playlist, Memories of a Vinyl Junkie. Sirens. 2 kids were murdered last night. Did you hear about that? In Rainier Beach. There was a gang thing.
It was far from here.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, totally far from here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a weird record for a 13-year-old when I first heard it.
Imagine
But I fell in love with After Bathing at Baxter's. The other record Larry got, I remember buying a copy of the second Blood, Sweat, and Tears record. That would have been 69, I guess, with David Clayton Thomas. And it was so jazzy for me. I didn't quite get it. And had that, what's the avant-garde or the classical composer, that music that they always play for feminine hygiene commercials. What?
I don't know. You got me lost there.
Trio, Gina Penna, Petta. Someone tell me, what's the composer, the kind of classical composer who wrote the song they cover on the second Blood? Eric Satie. Thank you. See,
Whoa.
Tom Rashawn knows this shit. It was totally Eric Satie. I didn't get that record right away, and I bought that, and I had traded Larry for whatever he bought that night. And of course, that record became huge, and I liked it. And I remember we went to see Blood, Sweat, and Tears at the Oakland Coliseum in 1970 in spring, and the opening act was Lee
Michaels
with the drummer Frosty opening up. You know what I mean? From Lee Michaels' Fifth. Good call on that. I love Lee Michaels. Nobody ever shows Lee Michaels in the
for good reason. Uh-oh.
I have a Mazzy copy. Because I know.
I think Mazzy might break the internet with this one.
That's
The drum roll.
Oh, okay. Hold on, Dave. I got you covered. Well, that was too long.
Incredible. No?
All right, here we go. He found it.
You know what? It's a weird thing when you have a memory, the visualization, because look at that. It's like it says Maslov on it, which means I brought this over to a friend's house. I probably have about a dozen records I did that with. This is a fucking great record.
Didn't he have a tragic ending, or am I wrong about that?
I don't know about that. We kind of look alike, don't we? Like,
no.
Back when Mazzy had hair.
This is a great record. Remember the one with the iron chain link fence or thing he wore, that green cover? This is great. Loudest. It was great. It was only him on his organ and Frosty on drums. A duo. They're kind of like the
It's like
Black Keys, right?
What style of music is he?
It's rock and roll bluesy stuff, kind of a hard thing, a bluesy soul.
Did he sing too?
He sang. This is a great record.
Who was that husband and wife couple that did the thing at the Dresden in Hollywood?
Oh,
yeah, they made a documentary about them.
I went to see it's so funny.
I saw them.
Larry and I, that was at the Dresden. Larry and I went to see them once in the 90s. We were there in the 90s, and we were standing up, and they were playing. That's the movie Swingers was filmed there years later.
Yeah.
And we're there, and all of a sudden Larry's standing there, and this woman standing next to him, and he like elbowed, not on purpose, her breast. And it was Drew Barrymore. And Larry was so excited after, he goes, "Oh my God, I bumped into Drew Barrymore's breast." And this was in 1990s. So That's a story.
I was there in '93, but I didn't see Drew Barrymore, and there was no breast that I put my elbow.
So the end of these live streams, we're going to kind of just do shit-ass conversation here. I want to say, as we're down to the last 5 minutes or so, I do want to thank everyone. I love doing this. If you think you want me to continue, please put in the comments. And when this will be live, or this will be recorded up on, if you comment and you're watching later, and what else, what kind of subjects do you want us to do? I don't want it to be just a hangout, but I do thank Rob, even though Rob gets a bad rap sometimes.
You're the one who gives me the bad rap.
For being abrasive. He really is great at moderator. He knows his shit. He knows his jazz shit. He's one of the greatest diggers I know. Diggers of records. And I appreciate having friends like Coffee Dave here to support all this.
I'm not a musicologist.
Rob doesn't charge, either does Coffee Dave, but we have a good time.
Yeah, we're free.
The thing is, after I look on the floor here, and I feel like now I'm in Rob and Coffee Dave's house at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a neat freak. I need a librarian to file everything away.
I need a double of myself that doesn't do what I do.
Yeah, we have to stop now. Just to let everybody know, Bill's Box of Sound starts at 7 p.m.
Bill, give us a link, Bill.
Bill, if you're still here, yeah, put your link in. There. Go over and watch his channel after his live stream. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the support. Yes, more Mazzy live streams. Thank you. Every Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific. For now, that's it. We may do a couple earlier for the European friends, but they can watch it on a repeat of this. Keep doing each Saturday. I plan on for the time being. And I want to have fun like this. I want to think of a couple of main themes, like we had Warner Brothers tonight, and we had the beat over the top pretentious hip poetry stuff.
We can fill some minutes with me going, why don't you come up here and do it if it's so easy, you moron? Thank you.
You know, if you want to
181 people just saw me call you a moron, you moron.
Okay.
Ouch.
If you want to send me
My
proposals, perspectives or resumes, and you can join us if you have an idea for a topic in the future. Delphina, would you ever come up on one of these, Delphina, and talk about some music in LA? Or what it's like?
Her knowledge is very vast and good.
I know. And what it's like on a Hollywood lot. What it's like dressing Drew Barrymore, or styling or propping for Drew Barrymore, or what's the Sherilyn Fenn. Heads up on the topics when you advertise the stream. You know, I kind of didn't know until the last minute, to be honest with you, till last night. I dream about these. I wake up 3 a.m. and I think that's what I want to talk about.
In a cold sweat.
I started thinking in the last 24 hours. Started thinking I want to talk about North Beach and the Beat Generation and Jack Kerouac and Lawrence Ferlinghetti.
I have a good one for you, Mazzy.
Okay.
Other than San Francisco and obviously Seattle, what city have you spent the most time in other than those two cities?
Well, it's between New York and Los Angeles.
Maybe you should try and talk about those places.
I love those places. If I couldn't live in, like I always just say, if I couldn't live in San Francisco, I'd want to live in Manhattan.
Listen, Coffee Dave can barely put his pants on. He can't click these buttons like I can.
Look, but my hands are still like.
I know.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I do love New York and Seattle, or in New York and LA, by the way. But I mean, Seattle is okay.
I must commend you, Coffee Dave. You know a lot about music, and you talk about it without making references to some city.
Matt Basterson, Sherilyn Fenn was in nothing in the 60s and 70s. She's not that old. She was in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, she started in the 80s. Lots of 80s.
Yeah, but not in the 60s and 70s. Birds in New York versus birds in LA. But we're going to do some stuff. You should come up maybe next time. Reach out to me and come up, Dan.
Mazzy, the best part of your last stream was talking about bands from Minneapolis. Maybe you should You know so many people that are from certain cities that
Yeah.
you could do that again.
Well, I did a series sort of like that at one point. We'll do more of that. So we're going to wind down. Bill, did you put your link in here, Bill?
I didn't see it.
If you want to hang out and talk about Zappa and more things, and I didn't pull out my copy of Bongo Fury. That's being reissued with Zappa and Captain Beefheart live. So Sherilyn Fenn was in Wayne's World. Okay, there we go. I never met Sherilyn. I like the Audrey's dance, right? Remember Audrey's dance? Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Chris.
Nice.
Thanks for all the viewers. I do appreciate it. And that's it.
Have an awesome rest of your Saturday.
Ah!